Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Stephen Fore. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
Yo, so there's this guy that just came out. You might have heard of him. It's called Guilliman.
Rob Baer, Guilliman.
He's the Emperor, right?
Yeah, the
Obviously.
Emperor Light or Emperor Junior.
I can't hear you, BK Broiler.
AKA Rowboat is what people are calling him. All sorts of weird ass names.
Well, he has many nicknames, and we're gonna get to him and probably break down, take a look at the Grey Knight Grandmaster too, and see if he's worth his points. But there is.
Oh, hold on. Is he worth his salt?
Is he worth his salt? Oh, I like what you did there.
Depending on what time of day it is, or what era we're talking about. I mean, I think salt was like
better than gold.
Exchange rate, like that would, like a pound of salt equaled more than a pound of gold.
Yeah, all day gold. Salt can cure meat. Salt was currency. Salt tastes good.
Yeah, some soldiers got paid in salt.
Yeah, that's where the word salary came from. Like, it's literally, is he worth his salt? Lord of SALTramar. Worth his salt.
Classic.
I can go infinite on salt.
How much time you got?
Yeah, seriously. And this episode, we're going to talk about salt and its practical applications to 40K.
We're going to go into the history of salt, the value of salt, and as many puns about salt in related to 40K as possible.
As possible.
Buckle up, Buttercup. No, this week is some great releases. Obviously, we've got the new Gathering Storm Book 3 coming out for $50. That will give you the Lord of Salt's rules along with the new Grey Knight rules, a formation for each one of the factions in there, from the Fallen to the Grey Knights to the Ultramarines, as well as a detachment for the Ultramarines, new war gear, and I feel like I'm missing something, but if I am, it'll come to me shortly. So lots of stuff in here. Plus, all sorts of backdrop stories about how there's a Primarch. Hey, he woke up. Hey, what's going on?
Spoiler alert, the Emperor dies.
I cannot back that up.
Does he not die?
I don't think so.
Is that a thing?
I mean, he'll die eventually, I'm sure, but not in this book, I don't think.
Doran Jr., new tutorial idea. Basing with salt.
It's just going infinite.
I'm literally going to do a tutorial where I'm going to do snow bases with salt.
You have to make it roll down your elbow. You have to perfect the technique.
I have to do
and attaches it with the base.
The salt fling.
The base salt fling or whatever it is.
Yeah, I got it. I literally do that. That's how I paint anyway. So I just introduce salt to it.
But seems good. That lad's got talent. What is it? The Triumvirate itself is the most expensive one yet at $90, but I think we can all agree.
Is it still only $90 for Guilliman, Cypher, and this Grey Knight character?
Well, yeah, I mean $90 if you look at it. The resin Primarchs, just a single one, is like 90 to 100 depending on which way the wind's blowing.
I don't give a fuck what anyone says. This guy's the baddest looking motherfucker there is.
Baddest dude that we've seen, I think, in a long time.
Like these other, the resin ones are cool and shit, but like this mofo, barring his weird Astartes face, which actually I enjoyed the creative choice of giving him the deformed Astartes face, because a lot of people forget they don't look human in the stories, they are literally deformed, and so obviously I'm gonna put my helmet on my Guilliman, but at the end of the day, that is a big bad looking motherfucker, plastic kit beyond detail comparison. I mean, it is goddamn, dude, and you're telling me him alone. I mean, he's a 54mm model.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got these two other bad motherfuckers. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you can look at it for two different ways, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Rob B, but how much is a Primarch from Forge World?
Some of them are more anywhere from $70 US, I think, to $100 US, just depending on which one and the currency conversion.
So, if I'm not mistaken, this Guilliman doesn't come with one of those dramatic scenery bases, right?
No, he does.
He does. He comes with a sick
plastic.
Wow.
It's not one of the gangster ones that like transforms. Because remember, those guys
doesn't connect to anyone else's base, but he's standing on a fucking sick base.
Yeah. So, like, I am shocked. Like, GW could have literally gouged us for $80, $75 each one, and they're gonna sell the shit out of them.
I mean, this box easily. I mean, it's a great deal. GW, and this is what we talk about all the time with business. Like, they're not a discount company. Like, if a restaurant says, "Here's a coupon for 20% off your meal,"
that's 2 for 20 deals.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That means that restaurant sucks. If the restaurant's coupon says you get a free dessert today with your entree, with 2 entrees, so like you're saying you're going on a couple's night, you get a creme brulee. They're saying they've added value to your meal. They didn't discount your meal. That's what GW has been doing. They've been adding value to their lineup. They're not discounting their previous lineup. They are a luxury goods service, and they are creating new value. They are listening to the market. And this box is just yet again another example in a long line of examples all the way back from Deathmask, Betrayal of Calth, and before.
Yep, and that's what they do between, like you just touched on, the bundles, even to start collecting bundles now, and the big Battle Force bundles at Christmas time were all tremendous values. And it's always something that you can pick up. Sometimes you get a game with it, sometimes you don't. And like I said, you can say this is the most expensive triumvirate because it is, but then when you look and break down what's in it, is it really air quotes expensive? Well, that's where we all vote with our hobby dollars.
If a Primark if a busted ass resin Primark is fucking $100 sometimes, $75 sometimes.
Getting 3 models.
And now you're getting a good plastic one, because I always prefer to work with plastic. You're getting a good plastic one and 2 extra fucking dope models. And that new Cypher is looking on point, homie.
Yo, both those models, and let's put it in perspective, both those models do not need to be used. Every Grandmaster in the world wants to look like this dude, right? Like, I wish Haspil was on here. Maybe the rules aren't going down like the path of what Haspil wanted, but Haspil would agree. This is a phenomenal looking cast and build. Dude. Love it. And Cypher, he is a G. Like, I want to get that dude just to make, you know what I want to do with him? Because I've actually talked to my buddy Daniel. We're making stuff, and I was like, I'm about to send you like 15 librarians just so I can have, like, I want a couple on here with bikes, a couple here, there, this. I was like, I immediately saw that, and I messaged him earlier. I was like, I feel like I need to turn Cypher into a psycher. He's sick looking.
Dude, and let me tell you this. Me and Rob went off on a story today, because anyone who doesn't know, the Long War Network is live on Twitch. So I'll plug that for 1 second. You guys listen to the show. You follow us on YouTube. You follow us these places. Like, straight up, you're fucking up if you have not yet clicked over to Twitch, because we had fucked up. We had a sticky note on our computer for 2 years that said Twitch ? That we kept putting sticky notes on top of before we finally got into it. So it is definitely the newest resource, the hottest resource in trying to figure out how to get things done in the hobby. So definitely check out the Long War Network on Facebook. But anyone who's following along on Twitch right now, I'm painting Inquisitor Greyfax live. Okay, we did a phenomenal tutorial on a gangster red workup on her cloak. We're doing a clickbaity black is secretly easy. We did all these things. So we're painting our Greyfax black with gold trim and all this stuff, right? So first, let me hit you with this. Me and Rob were talking about it, and at first I was like, "Yo, Greyfax is stupid looking," because I was basing it based on the box art.
Yep.
And that box art is a silver model with gold trim. It is stupid and lazy, and I did not respect the sculpt. Then my man Robbie B said, "Hey, I heard you were painting a Greyfax." I was like, "Yeah, I actually painted for our Adepticon team because to take some of the pressure off the legendary Mike Haspil, the author of Graveyard Shift, who's busy right now doing double shifts at work. But he was like, yo, I need some help." And I was like, "I'll do the Watch Captain of Greyfax." So then Rob heard I was doing the Greyfax. He said, "What are you doing with that?" I was like, "Painting it for the team, then, give it away on Twitch." He's like, "Can I have it?" I was like, "If you want it." He's like, "I'll pay you for it." He's like, "Nope, you're my dearest friend. It's yours. What color do you want to paint it? Because it's just stupid looking model anyway." He's like, "Anything you want." So immediately I was like, "Well, this would be a great opportunity to paint black." So I painted her black. Instantaneously, he's like, "This model does not suck." And then I painted her trim in while keeping her armor black, and I painted her Baroque trim in gold. So it's like, so there's a real contrast there. Then I started respecting this new level, these triumvirate levels of sculpts, like how many layers. She's got a cape, the way they glue together to maximize detail, a cape, a scabbard, the backside of her cock robe, the cock robe. Like there's detail on this you could never have achieved 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It is, now that I've painted her a good color scheme with actual contrast and not a lazy one, it is literally, not figuratively, but literally my favorite sculpt I have ever worked with. It is brilliant. These triumvirates do not fucking play games. They don't play games.
That's awesome.
You know, I was looking at the Primarch model, you know, all the spoiler pictures and things, and his backpack, which reminds me of the Ghostbusters Proton Pack, had all sorts of knobs and levers and purity seals on it. And it was almost, it kind of transformed into like a multi-layer kind of backpack is how it was looking to me when in the 360 spin. So obviously there's going to be wires and doodads that are all glued on separately. And then I would be very surprised if the backpack itself was one piece, if it wasn't like multiple pieces glued together to make an assembly. And that's kind of the same stuff that you're talking about there, I'm sure, where, you know, they have the sneaky way of hiding mold lines into under flaps and over flaps. Like I noticed that building Celestine, which I'm actually painting on Twitch as a tutorial, just to have it to, you know, be able to throw in for battle reports and things. And I noticed when I was putting it together, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would this go together like this? And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, they're hiding the mold lines. Like this covers up on, you know, her corset perfect, or
like there's mold lines between things all day. But you know those big seams that you get when you when you slap 2 clams together on most models, those seams are concealed now. They're just engineered. And I mean, and they come together. Awesome. So it's like, she is as detailed as like the Eisenhorn 54 millimeter Inquisitor model from back in the day. Wow. That Eisenhorn that had like just robes and robes over robes,
layers of things.
I mean, she's that more detailed 28 millimeter. Crazy. So like, I'm stoked.
So real quick before, I don't know if we move on or not, Kenny, Rob, I need to know over under 1 million hours or not. How long is it going to take to do all the edging and all that in the new Emperor model in Guilliman?
Definitely that's the slowdown, right? Because especially as an airbrush artist, which we mostly are, you're going to get that flawless blue laid down, and then you're going to have to come in with precision application, because you're not trying to get, you know, that's the paint by numbers, right? You put the blue down and then you paint the gold, paint by numbers. You can't get that gold in that blue, or every time you do, it's an annoying thing that you have to fix.
But it looks like it has less armor or less trim rather than like the Helldrake. But it's still,
but it's way better than the Forge Roll ones, because the Forge Rolls, they have that fake hyper skinny trim that I fucking hate. And so I think it's going to be easier to paint than most of the Primarchs already.
And it looks like, just looking at some of the pictures, that it's sectionalized enough that, you know, if you leave the pads off, you can get the big chunks, and his little wing iron halo thing. You know, there's some strategy behind it. Obviously, being an airbrush artist, which we try to express in our tutorials, yes. Like, hey,
how advanced these new models are that they go together, it is progressively getting more and more difficult to leave pieces off during the painting process.
Yeah, it is. I noticed that with some of the Forge Roll stuff.
Leaving Greyfax's cape off, like I was like, oh, what am I going to paint today? Let me just snag her cape out. Painted it, and then I went to build the rest of her, and I was like, oh, the cape is kind of her back, her arm, her head. So I had to like build this hat. Like, I mean, it was like I had to because I did the cape separately, I had to end up like painting her arms and her torso on like pins, like, because they had nothing to glue to. You know what I mean? Like, because their cape was already painted. Yeah. So it is progressively getting, that's what the hobby resources, this is the longword.net's about. It's about creating that resource. So that way people who are maybe newer or less experienced in hobbying in general on every level, you know, playing, painting, building, converting.
Yeah.
We provide that.
Yeah, that's groundbreaking stuff right there for everybody in the painting and modeling world. Like that doesn't tickle my fancy at all. Like, first off, I'm like, why would you not just glue the entire model together and then paint it? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But still, you know, you heard it here first. The GW, everybody is evolving. GW is getting infinity times better. If you didn't think that their models could get any better, they are. They're coming out with new ways to put stuff together. And not only that, all the old techniques the good techniques of, painting stuff in segments and stuff like that. Maybe now, because they're doing such a better job that, hey, anybody else who's going to do gray facts here in a little bit, you're going to run into problems if you want to do it this way. We've already figured that out, so you don't have to make that mistake. Or you don't have to make, not even calling it a mistake, you don't have to make it harder on yourself. Why don't you try it this way?
Yep. Well, we'll see when everybody gets it in their hot little hands, and we try to figure that one out. So the Triumvirate, the book, all this week. There is some upgrade packs for Death Watch Kill Team. So if you want to make veteran squads, they're $12.50. It's just a single sprue. And I think the Gene Stealer Cult sprue also was $12.50 if you want to make your Guardsmen Gene Stealers, the heads. And I think there's some flat icon pieces for the tanks. Now, next week, it looks to be a little light week. There's just a book, a single book on Strike, I believe. And then we're finally getting the Mark III Iron Armor for $50 and the Tartaros Terminators for, I want to say, $60. Those will be out next week. But also, maybe more importantly, is they are taking pre-orders on the Dawn of War 3. And there's two, that's the video game, of course, that looks amazing. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, go over to YouTube, look at the trailer. It's bananas. They have two different versions of the game you can buy. You can just, well, actually three. You can get the standard, which is just $59.99. But for a mere $5 more, you can get the limited edition, which comes with like a premium book inside of it, a little bit of bonus content, CD kind of thing. Then if you want to take that to the next level at $129.99, you can get Gabriel Angelus's very own Godsplitter Demon Hammer replica that's like 14 inches tall by 4.2 inches wide, I guess, on the hammer itself. And there's a couple of cloth faction banners that come with it as well, premium disc book, game soundtrack with 18 epic tracks, and a lenticular art card, which apparently rotates between the three iconic masks that we've already seen in the preview. So, did
you say this was less than $200?
Mm-hmm.
Dog, in GW, we're used to paying. Oh my God, what a Dawn of War! Oh my God, you should have called GW first and been like and gotten their pricing tier, because they would have charged $500 for all that.
Yeah, I mean, I paid $250 for that Halo Reach special edition. I think it was.
Yeah, dog.
I don't know. This is dope.
129 is what you said, or 130 or some shit?
130.
You get the game and all that?
Yeah, you get the game and this dope ass Thunderhammer on a stand.
Well, I'm all in.
I don't see why not. I mean, if you're that serious about the game. So that's up on pre-order now. I think they said it comes out in April, I want to say. A lot of information flows into my stupid face, and then I pretty much dump it as quick as I can, so I forget things. But there it is. Now, that is all that's on the horizon. We don't exactly know what will be out as far as new releases the following week. GW kind of bought them a buffer week, so to speak, in between this big Gathering Storm release. Now, if I was a betting man, I would say they're going to shift back to Age of Sigmar. And then there's some rumors that there will be new releases kind of leading up in the stores, and there'll be kind of like a mini summer campaign kick, and then they'll kick off the new edition kind of ramp up release kind of type thing. So that is interesting.
So is that so that means they're gonna make it hard on us to cover news for next week?
Well, I mean, we can still break down some of the rules and such out of the book that we're not going to get to tonight. Like, let's talk about the Grey Knight guy, because he's kind of, let's start by, what the fuck is his name? Voldus. The Warden of the Libraries. Now, I guess a lot of people are up on the fence because, there's a big debate. Like, he's supposed to be a badass psyker, but is he a badass psyker? He's 240 points right off the bat. He comes with a Thunderhammer that swings at initiative, which I think we can all agree.
How many attacks is base profile 3?
Doesn't suck. 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay.
That's actually.
Mm-hmm. So he's weapon skill 6, which is solid. Ballistic skill 4.
Yeah, he's chapter master stats.
Yeah, it's straight chapter master.
How many wounds though? 3 or 4?
3.
Okay.
4 attacks, leadership 10, obviously 2 up save. He's got Iron Halo, so 4 up invulnerable. Termi armor, Stormbolter, Frag Grenade, Crack Grenade, Psych Out Grenades. Don't forget those.
Yeah,
and
the only Terminators with all the grenades.
Yep. And Iron Halo, of course. Any other thing that's interesting?
Level 3 Psyker, of course, right?
Yep. Level 3 Psyker, preferred enemy demons, of course, independent character. Knows 1 more power than is normally for his mastery level. Must be generated from Demonology Santic. And he has access to Santic, Divination, Fulmination, Geokinesis, Librarius, Pyromancy, Technomancy, Telekinesis, and
all the old schoolers and all the new schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does he also have something that he does imperils or something?
Nope.
Well,
okay.
I mean, all Grey Knights don't do the perils as normal and
just as 6s. Okay.
Exactly.
Double 6s on. They can't do demonic.
Right, and so he doesn't have any war gear that lets him reroll psychic checks or anything.
The only piece of war gear that he has that's unique is his hammer.
His demon hammer. So it's strength times 2, melee.
AP2.
Is it especially
force, concussive, demon bane, specialist weapon.
Cool. It's okay, cool. So
he's specialist.
Specialist is bad. Specialist, he doesn't have another specialist weapon in his other hand, so he has 4 attacks.
Nope.
So this cat, 240, level 4 Psyker, 5 attacks on the charge, initiative. Does he come preloaded with like Hammerhand or anything, or is he literally not?
No preload.
Okay, so this cat, but like most of the time he's Hammerhand.
He's going to be with somebody that has Hammerhand.
It's either going to be a strength 10 Thunderhammer that inflicts instant death, or a strength 8 Thunderhammer that inflicts instant death. So I mean, he's going to be scary in close combat. Is he Eternal Warrior?
Nope.
Okay. So right out the gate, we discussed this last week with Mike Haspil, who was a legendary Grey Knight fan from back in the day. Actually, Grey Knights is what got him into the game. He's been struggled through it in the early days, back in 3rd even, like 4th, when shit was just bad. And he said, like, let's see, this guy's supposed to be the most powerful, like, they're number 1 OG.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about it earlier, back and forth with a couple cats today, and we said, like, less than or greater than Tigurius. Is the lowest of all OGs, level 4 Psychers in Grey Knight lineup? Should he be better at Psychics than Tigurius? What are your guys' thoughts?
So I want you to know, we discussed it, and I didn't realize how actually badass in close combat and like powerful he is. But underneath your premise of what you're saying, yes, he should be. If he is older, if he is the shit, he needs to be better than Tigurius,
Rob,
or at least comparable to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I mean, okay. So somebody in the comments earlier was like, "Well, Grey Knights just basically use psychic powers to protect themselves from demons. Tigurius is literally trained his whole life. He is a ridiculous force of nature when it comes to psychic powers. But then, I mean, this guy's in charge of the librarians of the Grey Knights. So I feel like he's kind of the same. Like every Grey Knight is a psyker, sure, but there are librarian Grey Knights as well, which are also plucked from the very tops of the Space Marines themselves. Right? So here's these guys should be better.
So I did, after talking to a couple people, I will concede this one element. Fine. If they've dedicated themselves to mainly Sanctic, right? Like to kill the demons, let's say that's what they spent their 1,000 years working on. Cool. Fine. I can go with that. Okay. So I can say that Tigurius might be more well-rounded and better, but this guy is not even better than Tigurius is at Sanctic. The only thing he is better at, he's only better in one way on Sanctic, is that he doesn't perils on doubles. That's it. He rolls 4 times on the discipline if he wants, but that is the least effective way to utilize psychic powers of 40k because Vortex of Doom, got it. So it's a Witchfire. A lot of the toughest units you want to put that on are gonna have their own buffs. Like I don't play an army that I'm concerned about a Witchfire because of things like Adamantium Will and being able to use my own psychic powers, right? So fine, Vortex of Doom is tight, but it's only 12-inch range. What is Gate of Infinity tight, right? Love it. all day, every day. Hammer hand tight, love it all day, every day. Sanctuary, love it. I love all those powers. They are totally cool. They're really badass powers. I love it. But three rolls on the chart with rerolls plus rerolling doubles, because you can't have the same power twice. So this is the only time in 40K you get to reroll a reroll, because you can't have the same power twice. Tigurius has a better chance of getting what he wants off that discipline and less rolls than this cat does. And then switching to another discipline and has a much higher chance of getting what he wants in fewer rolls as well. Tigurius has 3 wounds just like this guy. And so that ablative wound protects him from the first 2 perils of spamming Sanctic. He's only 165. This guy, sure, fine. He's got initiative Thunderhammer all day, every day, but he's not Eternal Warrior and only has a 4 vulnerable, meaning any Power Fist will kill him. Any Power Fist will kill Tigurius. Like, who cares about the 5 vulnerable? I mean, the 4 vulnerable. Like, technically, you've been wounded twice. You're probably going to fail 1, right? So, I mean, my big concern with him is if we can even make an argument that for him being good at Sanctic, he's not good enough at Sanctic to compare it to Tigurius. I think that's a massive oversight. And I feel like this is one of those examples we discussed, Juice, where if they had we signed an NDA, just call us one time, GW.
Yeah,
we have a fix.
Yeah, I'm even gonna go down this rabbit hole where, like, let's remove Tigurius from it. I'm not gonna tell you that I think he's the best Grey Knight Psyker.
No,
I'm not gonna say that this guy for 240 points that he's better than Brother Captain Stern, because I don't have to roll any dice, dog. I'm getting +1 in my invulnerable set.
And let's cut to the chase, guys. Sanctuary is the power. It's the
Sanctuary is the power. Like, I actually don't really care too much other shit that's going on there, right? Like, I don't want to, this is like the Grey Knight shit is doing, hey, this guy has this special ability. Drago just has gate. Brother Captain has this. Hector Rex has this. Like, why in the shit don't we just say, if this dude is supposed to be the Grey Knight man, why don't we say he's like Sloth, Severin Loth, and just say he knows every Sanctic power?
Or you've already built it into the rules. Let's GW it balanced, right? He's a level 3 Psyker who generates 1 additional. So he's level 4 and it has to be from Sanctuary. What if that extra power, from Sanctic, if you just said that 4th additional power that generates from Sanctic, he gets to pick the power? Everything I just said, I take it back. If that was the rule.
Oh, the 4th power. You roll that 1 power that he gets to pick anything on the chart. Absolutely. And to be honest, I don't even think it's that broken, because literally Brother Captain Stern automatically comes with this power. Drago automatically comes with it. Why don't you just say, yeah, hey, you get to roll on 3, your 4th power, you get to pick anything you want from Sanctic. I mean, I think absolutely, Kenny, that would be a phenomenal compromise. Call it scrolls of whatever that malefic, something. Yeah. So yes, I believe, but I will say this: he seems more badass overall. I feel like
he's more scary in close combat, like, for
correct,
sure.
And even just as a presence, right? He feels like I won't say a chapter master. He feels like a captain. He's a captain.
He's a captain stat line. He's a captain stat line. Iron Halo, except so what we're saying is we're putting a lot of stock in strength 8 at initiative here. You know what I'm saying? Like, 4 strength 8 initiative attacks. That is sick. But the second you go up against a guy with a power fist and a storm shield, you start sweating bullets, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now I say I challenge you. Fuck, dude. You can just say this is a motherfucking.
Is initiative 5 or initiative 4?
It's initiative 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm with this. So I do like this because you're swinging Simo now, especially with the Hammerhand. You're swinging at the same time as the Wraith Knight. You're swinging at the same time, or you're going before the Night Titan. So that if he was just initiative 4, I'm like, that sucks. I don't really care. But I5 is actually something you can game around. But it sucks is like the best Psyker that the Grey Knights have, you have to look at. You're not really taking him for a psychic presence. You're taking him because he can swing the potential of a strength 10 Thunderhammer at initiative 5.
I feel like the bulk of his points in that 240 profile came from an overinflation of a Thunderhammer that's not unwieldy.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they did over, though valuable. that think they definitely put a lot of value in it. Like, I mean, damn.
And I bet you in their mind, they think giving him an extra power that he doesn't have to roll for, or that is one above his master level, is I bet you that's 40 points in their minds. And in all reality, it ain't worth their 40 points.
And realistically, if you just go on the chart, like what a Grey Knight Librarian is, and you can take a power to get an extra spell, he's actually not overpointed. He's literally about the points I would expect when compared to already existing overpointed Grey Knights. The thing is we need a little bit more spice than that. And I mean, the major concern though is you play Grey Knights, you love Grey Knights, a juice. Is there any context in which you would take this cat over Drago? And
none whatsoever.
I mean, would you
not even Stern? That's exactly where I was about to go next. Not only will I not make a case like there isn't a case for Drago, not only that, I will not even make a case for him over Stern because Stern is cheaper and I get exactly what I want. There's no hesitation there. And to be honest, if we're saying that, I get to swing this at initiative, are you kidding me? I'll just fucking take Drago, dog, and swing his Titan sword at initiative 1 if I need to, or whatever the case may be, And I'm relying on my 3-up invulnerable save from a shield. So, or potentially with Sanctuary with a 2-up.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted. This guy looks fabulous, and I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna paint one. And he's gonna be a model of my.
He's gonna be in your army because you're gonna buy the triumvirate, and get all this. So he's definitely a cool model.
I'm gonna play him. I might not play him as a. Okay, let me put it this way: if I was playing an army, and I've done this a lot, where I take a Grey Knight Librarian, and then I buy him all the extra shit, and he's like clocks in at over 200 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I might actually take this cat instead. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you play only 5 points for a librarian.
If you max out a Grey Knight Librarian,
it's a master level 3 with everything else.
And there's I think a relic that they can take that gives them another.
The bones of osmosis.
I don't think it's the bones. I think that's a different power.
Whatever.
But yeah, there's one. So if you took all the things on this guy, I definitely think he's over 200 points.
Yeah, he is. I remember back in the day when I used to take him. Obviously everybody used to take staves with him, give him that 2-up invulnerable.
Yep.
But if
you play Librarian and it's your go-to, I would play. I would find the extra 30 points to play this guy or whatever.
Sure, and sure, we'll caveat this with saying that if you occupy one HQ choice as a librarian, you could just sub this guy out and feel okay. If your jam is not Drago and Brother Captain Stern, and you enjoy a shit ton of purifiers and you enjoy that kind of build, then absolutely, this guy will actually do good. But not with the way that I play. And I do like him though. I do like the fact that GW came out with it. And as we're going to talk later, 240 points in all reality for an HQ these days, that gives you some special abilities. He's a level 4 psyker that's a captain with a stat line. That's actually not a bad marriage of 2 characters put into one.
Right. It's not hyper optimized.
Yeah, guess what he's not? He is not Call. He is not the Saint. Are you kidding me?
He's not even a White Scar's chapter master on bite.
He's not even a white. Absolutely. So, how can we, if the new norm for goodness, for quality models, quality rules, quality everything, and aggressively point efficient is 200 points? How does GW in their right mind say Call and the Saint are worth 200, but somehow this Grey Knight dude has got something in his stat lines that is worth 40 more points? Tell me, Kenny, Rob, right now, find it.
That's the best argument. That's what we talk about. GW, and we'll talk about it as we move into the Guilliman argument after the break and after we talk about Cypher. GW has an outdated beat slab. They have a Venn diagram or something in their beat slab from 1997 that has points on it and where things overlap. And it's clearly outdated because if the Saint's 200 points, if Baller Sirius is 200 points, this guy's 180 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, doesn't even make sense. All right, well let's take a quick break and come back and talk about Guillimans.
Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
Elric'sHobbies.com is your exclusive portal to upgrading your hobby. When you sign up at thelongwar.net, you gain an instant promotional discount good for 10% off at Elric's Hobbies. elricshobbies.com.
Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at dicehead.com have rewarded us all with an extra 6% discount on all dicehead.com merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
All right, and we're back. Now it's time for the Lord of SALTramar.
But don't forget the Lord of Hide and Seek. I mean, he got a lot of rules changes though. We should touch on it's a pretty complex thing we need to talk about here.
So it stayed the same.
Okay, never mind. Where it got it, Cypher stayed the same.
I'm pretty sure. Doesn't seem much different.
He's still useless because he's 200 points also, right?
Yeah, like 190. I think it's
literally useless. There's nothing that he can do.
No.
Cypher has always had play. If you guys didn't know, Cypher gives a unit Shroud. He has Infiltrate. He has Hit and Run. So there's a lot of ways to play Cypher that's pretty aggressive, like Cypher inside of Centaurian Star, Cypher inside of Dog Star. Inside of a Corn Demonkin's Dog Star. I mean, like, there's a lot of ways to play Cypher and he's always been somewhat playable because he buffs stuff, but he hasn't changed, so we don't care about him. Now it's time to talk about the man, the myth, the legend.
All right, good breakdown there, Kenny. I liked it. So Guilliman is here finally. He is the 350 points as prophesized. He does have a slew of special rules. A lot of people might have missed that he does come with Feel No Pain. He does come with precision shots and precision strikes. He does have preferred enemy chaos. On the relic side, he does have the super sword of flaminess, but it was very hard to see in the previews from the rumors that came out on G-Dub's video. The strength D is only if you hit on a 6, but
all the 6s are precision for sure. I need you guys. I can't wait anymore. Like, obviously, if you're riding in your car, you're just hearing this, you've been living under a rock, there's obviously rules anywhere and everywhere for you to see how good or shitty Guilliman is. In my opinion, GW missed the mark. I believe that they didn't get too many things right. I'm not going to say he's terrible, but for 350 points, I can't even understand that he is a Primarch. He is a Primarch, the first good guy Primarch that we get. And I can't say, I go back to what we said just a few minutes ago. We have Call and the Saint as a base. So it is going to take me a little bit of time.
You want to do our bit?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. So we're not who we are. We're all GW Beats Lab 1997 Venn diagram. Okay.
All right.
And Rob is the guy who writes the fluff, and Juice is the guy who writes the rules, and I'm the director. Okay. All right, guys, we're bringing him back. Rob said so. He said we're bringing this guy back. Juice, real quick. Yay or nay? Rabute Guilliman. Living Primarch. The fluff has been established. We know Baller brought him back with this resurrect with this special armor that brings him back to life. Do we assume, and I'm directing these guys, or I'm the art director or whatever, I'm like, yay or nay, the baddest mofo in 40K alive right now? Yay or nay, Juice?
As of right now, baddest mofo that walks the earth. Yes.
Like before we release any rules. Rob,
no rules out.
Rob, before we write the rules, but can we agree? Baddest mofo alive?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, got to sell miniatures.
Cool. Okay, I'm with that, guys. Now, this is a dramatized reenactment of GW not doing what we're doing. So, Juice, as my rule smith, now that we've all agreed, unanimous decision, he's the baddest mofo alive. Is there anything that we've put out, at least in recent memory, that we have to compare him to on defense?
Yeah, come to find out, we don't have to go back too far. We literally just released a book. I wrote some rules that gave the Living Saint basically we have to go at least this many. D3 Call gets to regain D3 a turn. The Saint gets at least 2 wounds back a turn. And when she dies, she can come back on a leadership check, which means she almost is guaranteed to come back. So we got to at least meet that mark.
Yep.
That's a good point. Now, Rob, as my as the guy who writes these rules, when you wrote you wrote the fluff and everything here. So Balisarius, you wrote in his rules that per player turn he brings D3 wounds back. He also has a rerollable Feel No Pain, and he's tough enough to almost always use it, and he has a 5-up invulnerable. So in the worst case scenario, he has a 5-up, 5-up, 5-up with max, which I've conferred with Juice says that's almost a 2-up invulnerable plus D3. So an average of 4 free wounds back every game cycle. All right. So, and then you're saying this guy built the resurrection armor. Okay. Can you give me an example of, now that we know that the Saint comes back with 18 wounds almost 90% of the time, and that this guy almost goes infinite? Can you give me is there any like suggestions like on how we build this resurrection armor to possibly mirror that, but in a cool, fluffy way because this guy built it? You got any ideas?
Oh, okay. So we'll give him 6 wounds. We'll give him a 3-up invulnerable, and he can come back. If he dies, you put down a marker, and then he can come back on a 4-up. But if you fail it, he's dead.
Okay, so now you're not my rules guy, so I'm going to fire you now.
Right.
So I don't know why.
That's just my ideas.
So this is why you don't write the rules, because you're the fluff guy. Now, Juice, as my actual rules guys, do you think that a 2-up, 3-up, because our Venn diagram says that that's worth a shitload of points, having a 2-up and a 3-up, Eternal Warrior, Feel No Pain, and the ability to get up 50% of the time with D3 wounds. Okay, now do you
toughness 6?
So is that equal? Like, Juice, give me. Okay, you're the rule. Okay, immediately my rule guy says no. What do you think?
Yo, so literally this guy, if he cannot himself generate. So wait a second. I just want to put this out there. So you're telling me that the guy who writes the fluff can't understand that if Call makes the armor, that Guilliman himself is going to say, yo, do me a favor, man. Just make armor that's not as good as what you wear and then give it to me. Isn't Guilliman the Emperor?
The Lord Commander of
the Lord Commander of everything is going to be like, wait a second, homie.
Hold up, son. Give me your armor. We're switching.
Yeah, for real. Like, I'm about to take yours, right now. So, absolutely. This is a fun game that we play. Here's the breakdown. We actually talked all about this earlier in the pre-show. So we actually, as a group, we've constantly always said GW, free legal advice all day, every day, NDAs. But here, we've already shown you guys 2 examples of recent memory of very Age of Sigmar, and we'll get to that later, style of like, these are 18 wounds, they almost never die. You got to come in hot to kill them. Literally, we've had Justicar Thawne, who has a 4-up get back that never stops. Sure. Every time he dies, never stops.
Then we have Commissar Yarg, who gets up on a 3, not a 4. We have the Gorgon chain, which is like, gives you different powers every stat line. There's a million ways you could have gone with the resurrection armor. You could have just said, a fully functioning resurrection armor brings back Guilliman automatically on his first death with half his wounds. The second time,
for real, the second he is slain, it is automatic. If the Saint has to roll a leadership check one time, the Emperor, the mini Emperor, should just automatically, boom, he's dead. Okay, word. Now he comes up with a guaranteed 3. Half his wounds. Now, I don't want to hear D3. I want to say he is down. He immediately comes back with 3.
Comes back with 3. Gotcha, bitch. Unless the game ends, you fucked. He's back. So basically, I mean, you guys see where we're going with this. We feel that the resurrection armor is bust. It's literally bust. And a lot of people online are real salty about him, saying that like he's too easy to kill. You can grab him out. He's literally he only moves 6 inches a turn. He's fucking overpointed, blah, blah, blah. He's literally the fucking worst, right? And, and so hit me with some, before we flip the script, Juice said something to me that was real intense about Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, so look, there's a couple things that are going out. There's this formation. Robbie B will go over here in just a little bit, but so there's a formation that
we lost you there for a second. So you're saying he can look out, sir, even though he's not an independent character, onto the guard and the stern guard on a 4-up.
Absolutely, he can do that, and that's groundbreaking because he's a monstrous creature. He's not attached to anybody. That is a new tech that we haven't seen in 40K. Guess where we have seen this though? In Age of Sigmar. It's actually not uncommon to see stuff like this in Age of Sigmar with their big characters. The main The Slan have it, or the Slain, however you pronounce it, and quite a few other ones have this special ability where when a wound is dealt to their general on the roll of X amount of dice, it is automatically thrown over up to 7 inches to other characters. So that this is literally an Age of Sigmar rule that we've seen. Also, back to back now, we have seen these massive characters that you see in Age of Sigmar that cannot join units. This is also part of the way of keeping them alive with these massive amounts of wounds.
So they have
massive amounts of spells.
Ridiculous amount of wounds. They have multiple hero phase based auras. They're buff commanders, and in some situations they have the ability to throw wounds back around to their own guys.
And Kenny, it's so funny you said buff. It is unreal in Age of Sigmar, your characters, what they can do to the rest of your army. It is almost like everybody's normal units pretty much all do the same shit. It's up to whatever your generals do. That is what separates army and faction by faction and orders by orders and stuff. It is unreal what those guys do. And what did we just see with some of these characters that are coming out? In my opinion, I play Warcon, so I've got characters that buff everything. Not a single man alive that plays Warhammer 40K character-wise does more for an army than Guilliman. And what Call can do now, his stepbrother to that is Call. He can buff an army, but nothing compared to this. But still.
To compare and contrast, the last triumvirate, Greyfax, Balasarius, and the Saint.
The Saint.
So the Saint is a clear Age of Sigmar character. She basically has 18 wounds if she never brings back if you forgot to bring back your Yin Yang twin. She has 18 wounds, right? Okay, damn. And look at her. She is a unit of models.
Yeah.
That's clearly an Age of Sigmar thing, but she's still an independent character. That's a holdover. What we're saying is this is evidence that in 8th edition 40K, we think that independent characters are not going to exist anymore. Balasarius, look at the motherfucker. Clearly not designed to be an independent character.
Clearly not designed.
But 5 up, 5 up, 5 up brings back 4 wounds a game cycle on average. Look, and even Greyfax, aura-based. You can't come near me with this. I have this other psychic power that does this. Literally all her stuff is buffy, right? Buff style all day. Guilliman is literally, I feel like them taking us one step closer because they just said it's official. He's not an independent character. He's a monstrous
creature. Love it.
He's
also,
official.
Kenny, I want to say something. I don't believe that they did justice to Guilliman. I think that he should be more. But let me tell you, I want to go right now. Stop, and I'm gonna stop bitching. And I'm gonna tell you this: GW did get something right. His rules, in my opinion, as of yet, do not match what Call and what the Saint is. But you gave us the Guilliman, a Primarch, for 350 points. That is a bargain, in my opinion.
A mini Titan.
He is literally a Titan. So this is the rabbit hole that I'm going to take you down. I think GW has put out Guilliman under the premise of what we've been saying for years now. He is a Night Titan. Yep. He is your gallant close combat Night Titan. Go with me. You ready? Your Night Titan in close combat is 375 points. He doesn't pull any triggers. I
think it's literally 350. I think 350 is the number.
I honestly think it's 325.
Or 325.
Oh, you're right, Robbie B. You're right. It's 325. So you do not pull any triggers whatsoever for 325 points. You've got all close combat and you do your thing, right? Mm-hmm. Well, also, how many hull points do you have, Kenny?
Six all day.
Come to find out, so does Guilliman. So
also, in a long war flow chart, which better? Wounds or armor? Toughness or armor?
We always know toughness is better.
Yeah,
right?
Okay, cool.
So we both have 6. Now, Robbie B, for your 325 points, do you get a save on all your sides?
Nope, just one.
All your facings.
One facing that you get to set.
Do you get it in close combat too, though?
Nope.
Yo, but Robbie B, does he get his invulnerable save on his front side or his back side? Or
especially his backside.
He always gets his backside covered.
Dude has a 2 up, 3 up, 5 up always.
That is a lot of math to get through.
That is a lot. So, and in close combat, you guys basically like he must not be, strength 10, D precision on 6s with 7 attacks off the charge.
Call it what it is. Precision D. He has the
Precision
D special rule. All 6s rolled to hit in close combat are resolved at D, and he also has precision strike, meaning he gets to place Ds within units that he needs to put them.
And we don't mean D's nuts. We actually mean D's.
And combat, so you can thin out, those things that might threaten him. Air quotes.
Yeah, and so we actually posted a little bit of a list. So like basically, before we saw any of the new stuff, we put out a quick little list with a combined arms detachment, a librarian's conclave, and of course a demi company. It's very Ultramarines. We got a CAD with Tellian from fucking Ultramarines, and 2 Landspeeder Storms with Malta Melta and Kami Melta, and a bunker with Escape Hatch and a Lord of War, which is Guilliman. We brought in a demi company, which is the 3 Tactical Marines with missile launchers and rhinos, a assault squad with jump packs, and a Devastator Centurion squad instead of the normal Devastator squad, and a captain with a storm shield and artificer armor. Then we brought in a conclave with Tiggy and 2 level 2 Psychers, and on paper you're like, yo, I got Tiggy, Tellian, got this, got a demi company, all Ultramarines, got that Doctrine on top of Doctrine. I got 2 units of scouts, 3 units of tactical marines, a unit of assault marines that deep strike and hop around the backfield. All this objective secure, tons of different things, and a very powerful unit that's time tested. You're going to see it in Battle Report real soon, where you have a Centurion unit with Tigurius in it, and a guy on point taking AP2 wounds for the unit, jumping out of an escape taps and hurting people, right? So you look at the list, it's actually very Ultramarine, right? Because you got infinite doctrines, because Guilliman has got doctrines, Demi Company has doctrines, and Ultramarines have doctrines. You have 3 layers of doctrines. So to address the gentleman's first point of Guilliman can't move, Guilliman's going to get wrecked, you're going to get graved out. First thing first, math takes 21 grav wounds to put him down. Period. Like,
where are you going to find 21 grav?
Like wounds, not shots. Like lots of armies have 21 shots, 30 shots, right, whatever.
But they're not all going to hit.
Physically convert on 21 wounds if he's just out in the open and nothing's going on to actually put him down. That's actually pretty difficult. Secondly, what do you mean he moves 6 inches? I don't fucking play an army that doesn't use second powers.
He's got soul burst too, right? No.
Like, yeah. so basically, Tigurius, the actual best psyker in the galaxy. There's multiple ways in which you can make people move fast, but we're just going to talk about, I call it Ghost Storm because that's what the heretics call it. Literally, you pick a friendly unit within 12 inches and they move 18 inches. So what you're telling me is in this really simple, somewhat thematic, totally Ultramarine style of play where we have tactical Marines, scouts, Devastator Centurions, and even assault Marines, and Tigurius and Tellian, you're telling me that if on turn 1, this little Centurion star with a Librarian's Conclave and a tank in the front pop out of a hatch, and then Guilliman moves up 6 inches, and then you Ghost Storm him 18 more inches forward. Then he runs with Fleet 4 more inches forward. Then you cast Invisibility on him, and then you pop your Devastator Doctrine every turn of the fucking game and kill something with the Centaurians. And now Guilliman is 6 inches away from your army, invisible. Like, you're gonna tell me that sucks? You're gonna tell me this is a puzzle piece, like as Juice would say. Like, nothing. You can't ever rate a unit all on its own. The unit is a member of an army, a force. How does the force work together? Guilliman has 7 attacks on the charge. Always rerolls 1s because he has every command trait. One of them is the Warlord and all friendly models within 12 inches reroll 1s in close combat. He has 7 attacks. Rerolling 1s in close
shooting.
Literally everything, all day, every day. This motherfucker has been slung 24 inches on turn 1 and then ran another 4 inches, and he's invisible. It's very permissible with the 2 Librarians and the Conclaves and Tigurians that also have a Levitate, which means that now the actual Centurion star moves 18 inches a turn, 6 inches plus 12 inches. So now I have these 2 deadly elements that can kill things, just literally moving around the fucking table all day, every day, and the whole army is basically twin linked the entire game while 1 million objective secure units take your backfield. That does not suck, homie.
Absolutely. Like, in the premise of not comparing him to the characters that we've already spoke of, right? And just looking at what he does for an army for 350 points. I mean, to be honest, I feel like it's solid. I feel like it is, you are going to get every bit of the love that a Night Titan is going to bring. He's going to give it to you. He's going to give it to you for cheaper. He's going to do more for your army. He's going to make your army feel like you're playing Warcon. And this is, again, I play an army that has all the buffs. If I needed to be dark and I get all my cover saves, I get it. If I need to go shooty and I twin link my entire army and I manipulate my ballistic skills and stuff like that, I'm gonna let that happen. He literally Guilliman turns a demi company, which is all objective secured, all the bonuses that it gets. See, Warcon doesn't get any objective secured. It's banking on its buffs, its shooting, its everything else. So now this guy, plug and play, is literally making your entire army twin linked for the most part, whenever you want it, whatever you want.
Basically now, because Ultramarines, because Demi Company, because Guilliman, 3 turns for every doctrine that you have. So every doctrine gets to be done 3 times, which means if you want the Centaurians to always be twin linked, that means the first 3 turns, they're twin linked, while the rest of the army rerolls 1s. And then the last 3 turns, everyone else is twin linked. And the Centaurians reroll 1s.
Also, something that is not to shake a stick at, especially if you're going to be throwing in that conclave, you have the ability to throw around a shriek or 2. You can break a guy off, so you can cast 2 if you need. Hell, you can break the entire 3-man unit up and cast 3 individual shrieks at a unit if you want.
Depending on what your opponent's bringing, you get to decide your own narrative, because on the command benefits, there is a command trait that says enemy units within 12 inches, straight up, lowest leadership. When literally, period.
Yeah.
So that's powerful if now you know you always have it and you have all the other abilities.
Yeah, you come to the game being able to say, word, I know that I have this card in my back of my sleeves. Like, word, I know that this guy's got Codiez and he's got this. Yeah, he's stubborn, but he's only a stubborn leadership 8 now. Or demonic instability. You got that Herald there. I won combat by 4. Come to find out, you're using leadership 6 now, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, you're using the low. I mean, it's usually at least 1 lower, but so check this out. So there's other rules. How about the whirling flame rule that he has that is getting people aren't looking at? He gets to make a number of attacks equal to, against every unit in combat he's with, the number of attacks is equal to the number of models within 1 inch. So most of the time, that might only be 5 or 6 models. But if it's 2 units, that's 5 or 6 attacks versus each unit. That's easy. That's easy. Especially when you say, I reroll 1s to hit, every 6 is a precision strike, and it's D. That's an issue.
That's solid. So where that especially is going to play into effect is this dude isn't on a Dreadnought base. He's not on this. He is on the bigger size, right?
No, he is on the Dreadnought base.
He's on a 60.
Oh, excuse me.
I thought it
that's
looked
what
bigger, but
that's what I meant to say. I'm sorry, that he is on the Dreadnought base, right? Or Dreadnought base.
Yeah, 60. He's on 60 millimeters, which is a lot of millimeters that people can pile in around you.
Absolutely. Yes. So why I like this? I like this because if people now you can call it gaming, which is we're just playing and using rules underneath what is written. Within an inch, come to find out, if you are on 32 millimeter bases, you do not get any rollover if somebody is close enough. But if you are on the traditional 28 millimeter basis, if I'm not mistaken, 25. Or 25 millimeter.
I think 25 millimeters is an inch. So I think that only people touching them count.
Oh, gotcha. I thought they were just a shy under an inch.
Obviously, if this rule starts coming up, we'll have to fucking figure that out. But most people aren't on 25 millimeter bases anymore. So it's not going to. But the thing is, it's going to be like 5 or 6. But if there's 2 units, it's 5 or 6 against both units. Like if someone snuck in a chapter master and his last 2 command squad guys and a unit of fucking something else, you're like, I'm going to swing against a chapter master with 6. I'm going to swing against these guys with 6.
And that's what I didn't realize. That is a very good power, because you're able to hit each unit. But to be honest, it's just like electromancy. I have that same thing. If I hit you with 30, this unit's taking 30 and that unit's taking 30.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about the Magneto B-Boy stance psychic powers or anything yet. We're just assuming that most tournaments have banned those. But if Tigurius is standing on a piece of terrain with his Centaurians and Guilliman, they can literally move 24 inches and assault you turn 1. Most tournaments have either banned the deck, like Adepticon, or have said you can't assault afterwards, like ITC. That's fine. But I've just shown you 2 ways Guilliman can move 24 inches, right?
Well, let's break down the formations real quick, because we're starting.
Before we do that, let me say this one thing to close out this. Just Guilliman, I pay 350 points for Bellacore.
Yeah.
All right. Just so I can do invisibility and have a guy that sometimes can kill things because I have to fly around and land. He goes 24 inches, lands, spends a turn, landed, then charges. He's strength 7, armor bane, flesh bane, 5 attacks, weapon skill, high weapon skill, high initiative, only has a 4 up invulnerable, has a cool bunch of little bit of rules, but I pay $350 for that all day, every day. I pay 300 points for a Fate Weaver all day, every day. I pay $325 for a Night Titan all day, every day.
Yeah, like 325, 350 points for a Night Titan.
375, who knows? 400 fully loaded down. I pay $350 for Guilliman all day, every day, because if used and wielded correctly, he cannot. He cannot. He's unquestionable. And so, to bring a full circle before we talk about these formations, let's go back to the beginning of our discussion with the Resurrection Armor. When we talk all this junk about Resurrection Armor, I've just outlined with my crew and my fictional GW crew in HQ that, damn, for $350, I'd play that guy. Oh yeah, and there's this other thing where 50% of the time it gets back up. Remember that we talked about at the beginning?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So even without that stupid armor that is less than call, without that 350 points, because they aggressively pointed him, the stat line stays the same because of that. He is solid at 350 points. I don't want to compare him to anybody. He's good, right? On top of that, now you're telling me that he gets back up with this and this, and it can happen potentially, even if it doesn't happen on the first turn, he still stays there.
If you fail it, it goes away.
He gets one chance. That was in our fictional. That was in our fictional rendition. He gets one chance.
One chance at it.
50% chance to stand back up.
It's free.
So it's free. That's what we're saying. When you calculate everything we just calculated, that means he can stand back up 50% of the time for free. That's the way we look at the Resurrection Armor.
Yep.
Yeah. And Rob, walk us down the even more badass stuff coming out of this book.
So there's a couple of formations. Let's just talk about the Ultra ones real quick. So there's the Triumvirate of the Primarch, which is all three of the characters that come in the box. You're allowed to reroll one failed saving throw each turn for each model in this formation. But as you can imagine, 190 plus 240 plus 350 is expensive. But if you want to take it, hey, it's there. It's pretty dope. It also gives all friendly units with the Armies of Imperium stubborn. So kind of a cool bonus there. And then the Vitrix Guard for Ultramarines, you must take Sicarius, 1 unit of Honor Guard. That's the guys with those relic blades. 4 units of Stern Guard or Vanguard veterans in any combination. But they do get +1 weapon skill and ballistic skill, which is great for Stern Guard and, of course, Vanguard veterans, respectively. While a unit with the formation is within 3 inches of Guilliman, he can make lookout sir rolls as if he was part of that unit. But bare bones, we crunch the points on it. It's around 700 points just for that. And then
they can't take their transports or their drop pods.
Right. No transports allowed restrictions.
If all these Stern Guards could take drop pods too, so that means if I could say like, yo, against this opponent, I'm just gonna drop in with all my BS5 Meltas and just go all aggro, I might consider this formation. But it's a little
a little much.
Now they do have a new detachment in here called the Vitrix Strike Force Detachment, which seems great on paper, but maybe not the way Kenny wants to run it.
We think that I think that the list I presented earlier is a better version of what this piece of paper can do. But this piece of paper is still cool.
Yeah, what's cool about this is basically once you break it down, you start adding stuff in here, you can get a objective secured Guilliman, Marnius Calgar, the captain, the chaplain, all this stuff.
The number one allure of this to carry on is that Guilliman would be objective secure.
Yeah,
it's the number one allure. You can make the same army almost. The only thing you'd be missing is the bunker escape hatch gotcha bitch trick, which is kind of a big deal, honestly. But still, you're saying you can have all the same types of units, all objective secure. You have your library's conclave. You can have your cake and eat it too. With everything being objective secure, it's pretty badass. You can still throw motherfuckers around with psychic powers. It's pretty plug and play. I do think this is a solid formation.
So I mean that's pretty much it when it comes to Guilliman. Now I think next week we could have a little bit of room to break down some of the stuff. So overall, what do you guys think? Is he a must-have or is he situational?
If you play Ultramarines and Ultramarines is your shit, if Ultramarines is your fucking shit, you have to play him. Like you have to. He's just too baller not to. Like I want to build an Ultramarines army because this guy exists now.
Yeah, I'm with it. I've actually started looking at myself, and I just want to throw in a caveat out there for anybody. I've got a lot of gripes with him, how the rules set, and everything else. Got a lot of gripes with it. One thing I don't give a shit about is that he only moves 6 inches. Now, I did go as far to say last week that I wish that GW would go break the norm, let this motherfucker use those long legs and move 12 inches. They didn't. They did go, I was right, by saying that they're going to go off the wall a little bit. They made him a monstrous creature, which we've never seen before, right? So, but he only moves 6 inches. I don't give not one shit, because guess what? He's on the gun line, so that means on 12 inch. Turn one.
You're 24 inches away from your opponent, and you have fleet.
Yep, 24 inches away because they're on the ready line. So now all of a sudden I move 6 and I fleet. So again, I'm moving 10 inches. So now I'm 22 inches up the board. I'm on the relic. It's mine now. And then what, does my opponent not come at me at all? Well, cool. Do me a favor. Keep moving away from me. Let my Centurions that are all around me, I'll actually just stay mid-board. Actually, if you're not going to come at me, I'll just stay mid-board. Let my Centurions and all my missile launchers and all my other random stuff in my army
all
like pick you up.
Is twin linked and just can.
Yeah.
My scouts that outflank with twin linked fucking melta-guns and their storms, and then all my like one-off missile launchers that are twin linked and
absolutely.
Literally.
So let's put this in perspective. So now I'm at the 22-inch line, but my opponent's like, I'm not going to come hot at you at 6, but I'm just going to move 4 inches up just to kind of say I move my model and still pull some triggers. So there's another 4. So in all reality, I'm just going to add 4 to mine. So I'm at 26 inches. So now I now move 6 inches in my movement phase on my turn 2. So now I'm 32 inches up. So I need to make an 8-inch charge.
And we've talked about it. Fleet is you can count on 9s with fleet all day every day.
Yeah, I mean it's like I'm literally assaulting you on turn 2.
And monstrous creature is ignore cover when he assaults. He is not
taking the -2. Yep. So, and I have moved through cover, whatever. So I'm taking 3d6, taking the highest. I mean, it's literally, I have been moving models around and assaulting people. I've been playing 10-man Terminator squads, walking up. Everybody's like in 5th edition with my Blood Angels, and I played 2 Land Raiders, and they're like, well, where are the Terminators going? I was like, homie, these Land Raiders are sitting right the fuck where they are with objective secured models inside on these objectives, and I'm going to be walking these Terminators. Oh, yeah, you're never going to see combat. Turn 2, I'm making you pick your models up. Like running is a thing and a charge is a thing. Like,
yeah, and so that's what I'm saying is like in the context of Ultramarines, if you're an Ultramarines fanboy and you like Ultramarines or you were thinking about making an Ultramarines army, I cannot see it. I don't think there's no context in which I can imagine that he doesn't strengthen your army.
Yeah. Yeah. He does what Calgar did infinity times better. Back in the day, Calgar, like good Calgar, last edition, where he was giving you all these buffs, this list. You get to pick warlord traits with 3.
God, I forgot about that. Yeah, the God of War. Remember that shit, man?
The God of War, absolutely, dude. He used to let you pick 3 warlord. I mean, it was just unreal, like all this shit, dude.
And you know what? Most people use Calgar as just a tank. If they play Calgar,
he could tank. Absolutely. And let's just talk about it before we run too long. I want to talk about one of my favorite things about Guilliman that I know that they got right. GW got 2 things right in my mind. A, pointing him at 350 points. I don't care if his rules were even worse than what I think that they are or they could be. They could even be worse, and I would still say, GW, you got it right. The progression from Call and the Saint and other people should be 150 points higher because you're a Primar. And I feel that is aggressive. Like, that is a great point cost. Soft golf clap. Also, what you hit on the nail on the head, for me at least, which might seem petty to other people, but I love the fact that he is coming in hot with precision and his ranged weapons. His ranged weapon, excuse me. He's not just rocking some, like, it always was a stick in my ass with like Calgar. Like, oh, he's got these super cool storm bolters that are strength 4, like cool, they're AP2. I don't give a shit about that. You're telling me that he's basically just shooting a storm bolter that every other Joe has got? Like,
he kills one guy, got it.
Like, that is just dumb to me. Like, come on, give this dude something cool. So what do? They got it right. He gets the upgraded heavy bolter, storm bolter, ridiculousness combo, strength 6, AP2, rending, 3 shots, like with precision. Now this is a weapon.
I think it's BS9 on top of it or something.
This is a weapon that a Primarch would have, right? It is like they hit it on the head. You've got quality shots, you got quality strength, great AP with the potential to rend and hurt vehicles. I love it. You know, again, some people think it's petty because they're like, "Oh, what does it matter?" It doesn't. No, it does.
It's free. I mean, mathematically, you're going to kill 3 Space Marines before, like with the gun, and then you're going to charge in. So let's say you have 7 attacks in the charge, you're rolling 1s, and there's 10 Marines. Like this bolter is the only way you're going to kill all 10 if you roll well.
Yeah.
Like this bolter is actually 3 quality. It's like basically say he has 10 attacks in the charge now.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's a great point.
It's a great weapon, and
and it's because we're talking fluff wise and reading the books and anything else. Dude, I've always hated like Abaddon. Are you kidding me? Abaddon, you got a strength 4 bolter. That is ridiculous.
You're lying to me. Horus never had that shit. That was not.
No, he never had that. He would have had something else. He would have dropped that shit off. He'd been like, I'm not even holding this.
He's like, the Emperor gave this to me for my 4th birthday.
Yeah, well, it stays in my backpack or in my room. You know, with
I only wear it when the Emperor's around.
Yeah, like this is actually worth having, that a relic weapon that some badass dude would have.
I'll go as far to say is because of that weird. He only wears it when his Emperor's in town. When his daddy's in town. The only reason he didn't kill the Emperor and he died in that fight was because that he was wearing that stupid Stormbolter to show off. That was the last wound. If he had
that was it. If he had this one, he would have absolutely.
It would have been a different Imperium.
Yep, for sure.
And this is a benchmark, GW. You know, we know that you listen, but you don't listen publicly. But I will say this: when Sanguinor, when Vulcan, when whatever, when all these guys come out, I don't want to see any stupid plasma pistol on Sanguinor's hand. You know, I don't want to see Vulcan having. He's got a 18-inch melter gun.
I swear to God, that motherfucker has.
I swear to God,
I fucking lose my shit.
I swear to God, if he doesn't have like an Assault 6 plasma pistol, that doesn't get hot.
has a 3-shot melter gun. Fuck, man.
That's strength 10.
Yeah. Fuck out of here, man.
So like, keep it going. You can even keep raising the price up. Last one from me, and then I'll be done. Rob, Kenny, were you prepared for Guilliman to be pointed 450, 415, 505, anywhere? Is that what you were thinking?
I knew in my heart that he would be 350.
I kind of suspected that they may do something silly, but I think it's obvious that we have some new fresh hot talent in there.
Yeah, the main reason is because I did use the Triumvirate as my basis. It's like, because like, you know, Baller, Sarius, and Saint coming in low on points, so I assumed that he would come in low on points too.
I'm telling you, I had nightmares because Magnus. Okay, he's the only other Primar that we have a basis of. I was like, there is no way. They're literally going to put this guy, they're going to rate wings as like 75 points, and they're going to put him in at like 430. And they didn't. So I am really impressed. They killed it, 350 points. I also want to put out the statement, when Sanguinor, when Vulcan, or any of these other guys that are allegedly a little more badass or need more rules, because, you know, everyone that comes out, you don't want to go backwards. We need new cool shit. Please feel free. They can be even a little more expensive if you think that the rules are there.
I agree. I think I was pleasantly surprised, so we'll take it.
Yeah. You want to know what? He's better than what the Imperium has right now. So whatever we can do, and whatever the Imperium can do to beat Eldar, that makes me happy.
So while you guys were talking, I had 7 dice in my hand, and I was just rolling out a couple of attack combos with Guilliman on the charge. Second roll, I did exactly what you talked about. I threw down 7 dice. There was 1 6 and 2 1s, and the rest were hits. Picked up the 2 1s and re-rolled them into 6s. So I got 3 precision Ds.
Yikes.
I was like, oh yeah. And guess what? These 3 precision Ds, one on each one of your stupid cyber will, each one of them on your stupid Iron Priest, right? Like, okay, cool. Word. What one of them has to look out, sir, a automatic no saving throw. He failed it, by the way. I just rolled it. He's dead. The other one, look out, sir, passes it, kills a dog. Literally, I fucking love this guy. In my own Beats lab, I do a lot of fictional dice rolling. I don't know about you guys.
Fictional,
No,
totally 100% real.
Absolutely, dude. That's Kenny. Kenny and I were talking about that earlier. It's like one of my favorite things that I could ever imagine me doing. I've got to play Guilliman now, is because I love turning ones into sixes, just because you see, because I use a lot of that preferred enemy in close combat with my Warcon, and you just see like the salt build up from the tears that they're crying, you know, on their beards and stuff. It just sits there. I can't wait to do this with Guilliman, where it's like, again, you just do like exactly what you did, Kenny. Roll like one good one, you know, roll your 6 and then a bunch of shitty ones and some ones. And his opponent's like, oh, yeah, that's what you get. You thought you're about to do something and you convert. Oh, my goodness. It's glory. And now you convert to put that shit where you want. That's unreal. I am so happy for Precision. I can't even describe.
No doubt.
I believe Precision and Pinning both need to come back more into the game.
I've been in a challenge with a chapter master for a game cycle, and I just killed him by rolling 2 6s and turning them to Ds. Like, fastest way to kill a chapter master, put him in combat with Guilliman.
I've got a couple dice on top of my nightstand, and randomly throughout the house, and I'll always go by and I'll start picking them up and rolling them or this. And my fiance Allie was like, "Are you just rolling dice again?" She's like, "I was like, yeah, I'm practicing." She's like, "What?" And I was like, "Duh, why do you think I'm good at rolling dice? I sit here and practice every once in a while." Like, what are you talking about? She's like, "It's mathematical." I was like, "Don't tell me the statistics. Never tell me the odds. I'm getting better at dice rolling."
Just killed a D-thirster on the first round of combat before it can swing.
Yeah.
Literally just going crazy over here.
How many Night Titans? How many Night Titans have you dropped?
Let me see. Get into a Night Titan, sling it. There's my reroll 1. Okay. Oh, we got 2 Ds. Okay, this is happening in real time. Here's the strength 10s. Okay, we did 3 pens, obviously, with strength 10. This AP1, right?
AP1 plus 2. Okay.
Here's a D3 extra hull pointer right here. 2 more hull points. We've done 5 hull points. The 2 Ds convert into all the hull points that he had. Yeah, he destroyed.
All the hull points plus some.
Yeah, literally just wrecked a Night Titan's ass.
So ridiculous.
Literally, you wrecked his ass.
Yeah. Not gentle back pressure.
So well, again, that's what. Sorry, Robbie B, but that's what we look at. Kenny, do you think you could have that same success if you paired off a Night Titan versus another Night Titan? You know, like 350 points is solid.
They either end up killing each other, or because they're all Reaper D attacks, they either end up killing each other both. So you kill him and he kills you, or someone rolled really bad and someone rolled really good and you're just salty.
Mm-hmm. Here, Guilliman's just like, word, I am a Night Titan. Plus.
Yep, sure is.
Just killed another Night Titan.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think that is a good place to stop for this episode, because we can talk more about the Cypher, well, maybe the Fallen and some of the other stuff in the book, some of the Wargaming and stuff next week, and kind of come up with some more lists and some more scenarios and things, since it's going to be a slow week really release-wise there. So what do you say?
Absolutely.
All right, word. So we don't have Haspil here to take us out because he's working double shifts, getting ready for some Adepticon goodness. So make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.